Robert Downey Jr. has rocked the Marvel fandom with shocking news, not once, but twice. Well, the first one is an absolute bomb of a surprise that no one ever expected. A possible return to the MCU, but not as Tony Stark, not as Iron Man. Oh, this go around. He's stepping into the shadows, rumored to be Dr. Doom. As if that was not revealing enough, Downey spilled a Marvel secret that fans were never supposed to know. A filmmaking trick used during a very important Iron Man scene. One that changes how we see the start of the MCU altogether. We're talking about last-minute cue cards, unscripted dialogue, and the unexpected explanation of why Tony Stark was wearing shades in the iconic weapons test sequence. By the end of this video, you will get to know the secret that made all the difference and why even the tiniest detail can reshape an entire universe. After Robert Downey Jr. left the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2019, fans thought that was the end of Tony Stark's journey, especially the emotional goodbye in Avengers Endgame, which made it quite definitive. However, fast forward to 2025, and that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. According to Variety and the New York Post, Downey is officially rejoining the MCU in a much darker role as Dr. Victor Von Doom. At present, sources indicate that Downey will appear as the iconic villain in Avengers Doomsday and potentially reprise his role in Avengers Secret Wars somewhere during Marvel's as-of-yet unannounced Phase 6. New production is scheduled to begin by early next year at Pinewood Studios in London. Downey made the announcement during Marvel's Mammoth Hall H panel at the San Diego Comic-Con, walking onto the stage in a complete Doom outfit before theatrically unmasking himself. According to industry insiders, it was not a marketing gimmick. Downey had met with Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger months ahead to build the character. They also describe a very hands-on approach to creating and developing on his part, suggesting that he helped with story detail and shaping ideas for costumes. While nothing has been released to the public from Marvel, both fans and media seem abuzz with excitement. RDJ's former co-stars also reacted to this news, with Tom Holland revealing at one point in an interview with Greek Ireland that he'd known Downey was coming back for a long time, whereas Jeremy Renner claimed that he had no idea about the comeback. Just after it was revealed that Robert Downey Jr. was coming back to the MCU as Dr. Doom, another quieter and older confession came forward, one that has people looking at Iron Man in a new light. While speaking in an interview, Downey casually let slip an interesting tidbit regarding one of Marvel's most iconic moments, the Jericho missile test. You know that moment when Tony Stark is in the desert, arms wide open, delivering a speech with effortless bravado before dropping an industry missile behind him. But what few fans realized was that the entire speech he delivered was improvised. Downey said that the script for that scene was still not completed. He and the director Jon Favreau were writing it on set. Since lines were constantly being made and remade, Downey couldn't memorize his lines properly. His solution? Cue cards, concealed behind some dark shades. In his own words, "We were literally writing that line for line as we went. I put on sunglasses because it was all on cue cards." He added, "It's more important that we feel like we're just coming up with this. There's no trick we can't employ to cover the fact that we're kind of making it up as we go along." The result? What seemed to be a fashionable character trait, something that personified Tony Stark's charm, was actually a practical workaround in the filmmaking process. You would think it never would have worked, and yet it worked so well that it ended up becoming his signature look throughout the entire series. It's a tiny moment, but one that still embodies the improvisational feeling of those initial MCU movies. Moreover, it reminds us that Marvel's meticulously polished cinematic universe was frequently also assembled on the fly, fueled by intuition, trust, and the occasional gambit from bold actors. Now that you know this tiny detail, it is going to be impossible for you to watch the desert scene quite the same way. As the news of Robert Downey Jr.'s return broke and the sunglasses revelation spilled over, an even wider conversation from fans and creators alike began about what improvisations like these can tell us about the MCU's creative DNA. A common topic floating around online is how people like the idea of spontaneity and craft. Some Reddit discussions note that the franchise itself was defined by Iron Man's improvisational origins, even allowing for ad-libs and on-the-fly choices long before special effects dictated the tale. Marvel has an impressive portfolio of unscripted moments that stretch across the MCU, from Drax's "Why is Gamora in Infinity War?" to Thor hanging his hammer on the coat rack in the Dark World, to Peter's heartbreaking "I don't want to go." From Infinity War, all genuine ad-libs to heighten the emotional impact. This is part of the reason why, even years later, fans still feel so intimately about the early MCU and are capable of forming such emotional attachments to it. Within the creator community, these are often viewed as trust signals. Directors like the Russos or performers like Downey earned reputations for collaborative openness, where ideas born on the spot sometimes became iconic. When Downey confessed to wearing sunglasses to conceal the cue cards, fans weren't surprised. They nodded. This feels like good, old-fashioned MCU logic. Clever, grounded, and working together. That small confession merges two worlds: the innovation behind Iron Man and the anticipation for what Downey might now bring to Doctor Doom. Fans see a through line. Improvisation isn't a quirk, it's the MCU's creative engine. To the casual fans out there, the sunglasses revelation by RDJ probably isn't anything big, but in reality, it is a major detail regarding how Marvel movies are made. During those initial days, improvisation was not a luxury, but rather a necessity for the MCU. Iron Man did not get carved in a vacuum. It was hammered and created on the tightest of schedules, with many script changes happening midway and creative choices made on the fly. Downey's decision to utilize sunglasses as a cover for the cue cards is a great example of the studio's creativity. More than improvisation, it is about total faith. These are the risks Marvel executives trust their talent and stars to take on. This freedom and that structure are what made a cosmic universe so human, relatable, and lived in. This is why fans have interpreted the sunglasses scene to be a comedic anecdote, the type of artistic cohesion that made the MCU a global phenomenon in the first place. So Downey coming back feels more the same. He also reportedly told sources that the Russo brothers would have to direct to bring him back. If anything, this dedication to the creative process indicates that Marvel is striving for story chemistry rather than box office returns. That could mean Marvel is getting back to that tangible sense of high stakes, mixed with genuine performances. It just demonstrates that something as simple as RDJ wearing sunglasses for a scene is deeper than we know, almost like an Easter egg. And when fans rewatch the movie knowing about the cue card information, they will now see it in a new light, like an inside joke for a not-so-funny scene. What does this all even mean then? Even though RDJ coming back to the MCU was a surprise, it served as a reminder of just how many moments that will form this franchise's legacy were born from nothing more than spontaneity, instinct, and creative risk. In all fairness, his return is not just a matter of legacy casting. It reveals something larger that has been happening out of the public eye. Insider sources say that only because Marvel brought Downey together with the Russo brothers did this return even become a reality, and bringing that part of the band back together suggests a wish to revive the old kind of MCU storytelling enchantment. What underscores this is the fact that nearly 17 years later, Downey revealed the cue card secret, which serves as a reminder that the backbone of the MCU was not an overabundance of CGI nor overrated budgets. It was creativity, it was a character, and yes, it was improvisation. The spirit of taking something small and making it big is how Marvel tells its stories. And even as the franchise now dives deep into timelines, variants, and multiverse showdowns, the little things still carry weight, like a simple pair of sunglasses, a line said off script. But maybe that's the even bigger perspective. In a world where everything is a secret, it is often the most unexpected things that fans will end up remembering the most. A surprise return, a sudden confession, or a tiny plot detail that has a broader relevance is why the entire world watches the MCU with so much love. The imaginative minds of millions cannot resist their grasp. Whether it's a piece of cue cards hidden behind a pair of sunglasses on set, or pulling off a perfect return when no one thinks to expect it. In these little production moments, you understand exactly how much effort goes into making characters that have become so familiar to us. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell icon so you don't miss out on our other videos on Hollywood. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Will you view the iconic Iron Man scene differently now that you know this well-kept secret?